added nutmeg and baking powder. Next up, I'll add some salt, yeah, roughly 1 tablespoon of salt. So to this I'll be adding my sugar. This is 1 heaped cup of sugar. The ratio here is 1 tablespoon of sugar for every cup of flour. Now that I've added my sugar, the next thing to add is the yeast. This is 1 tablespoon of yeast. Remember, this is the commercial recipe. Give it a good mix. Mix it up properly. So now I'll add my margarine. This is my margarine. Normally here in Nigeria they call it butter, but it's not butter. This is margarine, not butter. You can use butter if you have, but this is margarine for the commercial recipe. And I'm using 250 grams, 1 sachet of margarine. So now I'm going to break the margarine into chunks while mixing it into the flour with my fingertips, just like this. You keep working it like this until it starts looking like breadcrumbs. So I'm going to pause and show it to you when I'm done mixing it into the flour. So this is how it looks after mixing the margarine into the flour. A breadcrumb mix, breadcrumb like texture, you see it, yeah. So next is to add the liquids. So I'll add my liquid now. As you can see, it's not just water. I've added the flavors I'll be using to the water so that it can go around properly. This is 3 cups of water, which I will add and start incorporating the dough. The aim here is to achieve a soft, workable dough that is not too soft. So here we go. Still with your hands, work the dough to come together. I'll show you when I'm done. So this is my dough after mixing with the water. Now I'm going to knead it for 5 minutes. So I'll show you a little bit of the kneading process. Just like the way you knead fondant, the way you knead bread, yeah. And if by any mistake, for any reason, you overwater your dough, what you do is to add more flour, sprinkle with flour, and keep working on it until you achieve your desired texture. So I will show you when I'm done kneading how it looks. So I am done kneading for the first kneading. Yes, we knead it twice. I'm done with the first kneading, and this is what it looks like. Soft, smooth, and pliable dough. Soft, smooth, and pliable. So this is it for the first kneading. I'll let it rest for 10 minutes and I'll come back. It's been 10 minutes and this is how our dough looks. I'll start kneading the second knead. The second kneading takes place for less than 1 minute, highest 1 minute. So I'm done with the second kneading. This is how it looks. Now I'm going to divide it into parts to get the number of buns that I need. This is almost 2 kilos of flour. Like I used almost 2 kilos of flour to get this dough. So I'm going to divide it to get 120 pieces of buns. I'll tell you the quantity when I'm done. Please, if you've been watching up to this point and you like what you're seeing, or you feel that you've gotten something useful from what you've seen so far, please do well to like and subscribe to our channel and share this video to help us grow. Thank you. So I am done cutting them into portions, and as you can see, I've been working with trays. So my point here is that you don't need to wait until you get all the equipment before you start working. You can work with what you have. Remember, this is the local celebrity chef. Please like and subscribe. Now I am going to start forming them into balls, buns balls. So I am done forming them, as you can see. Yes, let's move to the other. Have a look at these ones. I'm done forming them. I was able to get 100 pieces out of the 2 kilos of flour. 100 pieces of buns from 2 kilos of flour. So these ones have had time to rise while I was forming the other ones. But if you're making a small batch of buns, you would give them about 10 minutes to rise properly before you start frying them. You can bake them if you want, but I'm going to fry them since my oven is not here. So I've got my oil on medium high heat for about 3 minutes now, and I just threw in a little piece of dough to check if it's ready for my buns to go in, and it seems ready, but I need to be sure, so I'm throwing in another piece of dough now. So with that, it's coming to the surface, so the oil is ready for my buns to go in. I'm going to reduce the heat to medium, almost low, and start introducing my buns to the oil so that it will have time to rise a bit more in the oil before it stops rising, because like I said, this is the commercial recipe, and the point is to make it big enough for the customers to be attracted without tampering with the quality that much. And my frying pan, this is a non-stick pan. You can use any kind of pan. You can use a deep fryer, you can use your pots, so long as it can contain what you are frying. This is the deep frying method, but it doesn't mean the oil has to cover everything. So my pan can comfortably take 20 pieces of buns dough of this size. So that's what I'll be putting here, 20 pieces. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, 9 more to go, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You need to be careful so that it doesn't soak up oil, because there is yeast in it, and I noticed that yeast tends to make it more prone to soaking oil. So the heat, I've increased the heat to medium, like medium, no longer almost low. It's now medium heat. So I'll leave it like this for a few seconds, about 1 minute, before I flip it over and increase the heat to high. You can see that the buns dough has increased in size. It's no longer at the same size it was when I put it into the oil. So that's what I was aiming for. That is why I had to reduce the heat, so that it doesn't kill off the yeast I was using for the rice. So it's around 1 minute now, and I'm going to flip the buns around so that it doesn't start getting done on one side when the other side hasn't received heat. We need it to be properly done on both sides, not just one side. You can use your spoon to flip it over if it's more comfortable for you, but I prefer using my work knife to flip it over. It's a normal kitchen knife, so I prefer using the knife to flip it over. You can see it has doubled in size. Like I said before, you don't need to have all the sophisticated equipment before you start. You can start with what you have and grow from there. It's all about being consistent. Also, feel free to send me your questions in the comment section. Whatever inquiries you have, any questions, just let me know and I'll answer them as much as I can. Now that I've flipped them over, I'm going to increase the heat to high heat so that my buns doesn't soak up the oil. Like I said, yeast tends to make it soak more oil. It has been 3 minutes and it's properly browns under, just the way I like it. So I'm going to flip it over so that this top side can get properly done and brown. Can you see the color? Golden brown. Very beautiful. Although by the time I'm done, it could get a bit more darker. My customers prefer it darker. So by the time I'm done, it will be darker. See this one, Tuzakwen, it doesn't want to stay quiet, so you just press down on it to deflate it a bit so that it can stay in one place. Same with this one. All these Tuzakwens that want me to notice them, all these notice miss, deflate it and continue with what you are doing. Flip them over like that. So we'll wait for the other side to get properly browned and we'll send them out of the oil. Meanwhile, I've already set my strainer, my sieve, my big sieve, and the slotted spoon for removing them. You can use a skewer to pick them one by one out of the fire, out of the oil. You can also use a flour sifter, the ones with handle, to bring them out at once. It's up to you depending on what you have in the house with you. You can use anything around you. Now they are done. As you can see, they are properly browned. So I'll now move them from the oil to my sifter, the sieve, the big sieve. Take a look, see how beautiful they are. Very beautiful, right? So when you raise them, allow the oil under the spoon to drop properly on top of the flame. The heat helps the oil to come out and drop into the oil so that you reduce as much oil as you can from the buns, and then send them to the sieve to strain off. Keep going like that till you bring out every one of them from the oil. While you're doing this, you can reduce the heat to low so that the oil won't be too hot by the time you start introducing the second batch to the oil, because if it's too hot, your buns will brown on the outside before it is done on the inside, and that is not what you want. I know you're seeing portions of places I don't want you to see, like the first tree you're seeing there. Yes, I'm doing this in my room. So, like I said, you can start with what you have. You don't need to have a fancy studio before you start working. I work from my room. Now we're done removing the first set. Let me show you the first batch before I start introducing the second batch. So this is the first batch. Have you seen it? I think I'll stop here and then focus on frying the remaining batches. So like I said, if you have any question, drop it in the comment section and I'll reply you. Any question at all. And please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video to help us grow so that we can continue to bring you more useful videos. Till later, I remain your local celebrity chef. Have a beautiful day. Bye.